If you want to make a teddy bear with arms that move, with legs that move and a head that moves, then this is the kit for you, and it's really not that difficult. Cut out each piece of the teddy bear at the edge of the design, making sure that you mark all the indications and the name of each piece on the back of the fabric. Start with the head. Take the two side pieces and match the points at the nose, put a pin in, and then sew these right sides together at 5mm from the edge. Now take the top piece of the head and matching the point at the nose, place that against one side of the head. Put a little pin in and then sew along this side of the head, just encouraging the fabric to stay together all the way along. Just take your time along the edges, always at 5mm from the edge. Now match up the other side with the top of the head, again putting a pin in place just to make sure that the nose doesn't move, and then sew all the way along in exactly the same way at 5mm from the edge. Then we just clip all the corners to make sure that we keep the curves nice and smooth, and then we can turn the head right sides out. Just encourage it gently and just push it gently through the hole until we get it right sides out. Now we need to find the point for the eye, the little cross you'll see in white. Take your seam ripper, push it in at one edge of the cross and then back out at the other edge, and then push to cut. Once you've cut both pieces of the cross, do the same for the other eye. Find the packet of accessories and locate the eyes and the nose. Each piece comes with a white washer. You'll find that the larger white washer goes for the nose, and then each of the eyes has a smaller white washer. Take an eye and push it through the hole that we've just made with the cross, and then on the inside take the white washer and push it firmly onto the axe. Make sure that it's fully pushed in. Do the same with the other eye, making sure that you fully push in the washer. Once the washer's pushed in place, the eye cannot be removed. Now you need to make sure that the hole for the nose is wide enough. It's where your stitching meets. Sometimes you just need to encourage it to make sure that you have a large enough hole to be able to push through your nose. Take the nose, push it through in exactly the same way as you did for the eyes. Grab your white washer on the inside and push it in place, making sure that it clicks all the way down. Now we need to stuff the head. We take the padding and we push in as much as we can, making sure that it's nice and firm. It will take more than you think. Now take one of the joints and put that into the hole, and then you need to get some thread and do a running stitch to gather this together. It needs to be a thread that's fairly firm and solid so that it's not going to break, and then you just need to do a running stitch. Make sure you fix the thread at the beginning so that it will pull through, and then do a running stitch all the way around, and then pull it tight and tie a knot so that the axe is firmly in place. Now we are just missing the ears. Take the inside piece and outside pieces of the ears, match an inside piece to an outside piece, right sides together, and just put a clip in to keep it in place. Sew along this outside edge, keeping at 5mm from the edge. Clip the curves to make sure that the curves are nice and smooth, and then turn the ear the right side out. Now just make a little tuck at the bottom, clip it in place to make it easier for yourself. Hand stitch this edge close and then repeat for the other ear. Now the ears need to be hand sewn onto the head. Make sure that you get your positioning right. This can actually change the personality of the bear. So you want to fix it along this edge and just check where you prefer. Sew it against there and just fix that in place with some pins. Push the pins into the head, and that way when you're sewing it won't move. So stitch this in place. Again, there's quite a few layers of velvet at this point, so just be careful. Use a nice strong needle and make sure that it's well sewn in place. And then you need to repeat with the other ear, making sure that they're symmetric. And now your teddy bear's head is complete and we can get on and sew the rest. Now we're going to do the legs. Each leg has 3 parts, an outside, an inside and the bottom of the feet. Take an outside and an inside, place them right sides together, matching your points, putting a clip into the points and then sew around, leaving the space in between the clips open. Just help yourself around the edges, making sure that you stitch the curves nice and smoothly. Now take the foot and match the markings up with the seams. Now this just gets a little bit delicate, so match it up, clip it together and then base stitch around. This will help when you machine sew it. And then you need to put it into the machine and sew again at 5mm, just taking your time because it's a little bit delicate, moving the fabric all the time to make sure that you're just stitching around that foot. Again, take the time to clip the curves and then you can turn it inside out. We use this little tool just to make things a little bit easier, but you don't need to, it's not necessary. Once it's turned out, just double check your stitching all the way around and then you can repeat for the second leg. Once both legs are sewn, we need to insert the joints. Find your crosses to mark the place where you need to cut your hole. With your seam ripper, just go in and out and push as before. Take the joint, put it inside through the hole and then push it out through the hole there. Do the same with the other leg. And now we can fill the leg, making sure that we don't get any of the padding in between the joint and the fabric. Push it in nice and firm, making sure that it's all full. Once both legs are done, then you just need to close the holes with some hand stitching. Once both legs are finished, then we can move on to the arms. Each arm has 2 pieces, match together an inside and an outside, matching your marks, again pinning or clipping at the marks, and then sew all the way around, leaving open between the marks. Make sure your curves are nice and smooth and keep it 5mm seam allowance. Clip all the way along the curves to keep it nice and smooth, and then using the tool again, we're going to just push the part inside out. Again, this tool isn't necessary, it does make things a lot easier. Once you've repeated this with the second arm, we need to again find the cross and cut it with our seam ripper to make sure that we can put the joint in. Always make sure that you don't go too far and cut into your fabric. Take a joint, put it inside and out through the hole and repeat for the other arm. Fill the arms nice and firmly, making sure there's no padding in between the fabric and the joints. And now the arms just need to be closed with some hand stitches and the arms are finished. Now take the 4 pieces of the body, the front and the back, and take the smaller pieces, which is the front 2 pieces, and match them together, making sure you're matching the centre fronts and the tops together. Put a little pin to keep your points from coming apart and then sew along the centre front. Again, 5mm from the edge. Now take the back parts and match up one back part with the front, making sure that your centre of your back isn't sewn. So you're sewing the side of the back, not the centre. And again, match up the top and sew along the edge. And then you'll do the same with the other piece again along the sides, and the centre part for now stays open. Stitch down both sides until it's all sewn together. So now the body is all sewn together with the top and the bottom like this. So you need to find the centre back, and you need to just find your marks, put a little pin or a clip into the marks, matching them together for the centre back, and then sew the outside, leaving the middle part open. Again, just fold all the fabric out of the way and sew up to those points. And now you have a rugby ball sort of shaped piece, which just needs clipping along the curves before turning right side out. You don't need the tool for this part, it's fairly easy to turn out. And now we just need to find the marks for the arms and the legs. You should have 4 crosses, and cut them with your seam ripper as before. Always making sure you're careful not to go too far with your hole. Now we have all our parts of our teddy bear, and we just need to assemble them together. So we need to take, starting with a leg, we need to find the hole for the leg, and then we thread through the X that's on the leg, thread it through the hole, and then on the inside place one of the brown washers over, push that down, and then take a white washer, and you need to be fairly firm with this. You take the white washer, you push it in, and using both thumbs, giving it a good squeeze, and push it right down until it clicks, and that way it's locked in place. Once these are in, they are locked in place, so make sure that you've got your arms and legs in the right place before you lock them. Once the arms and legs are on, then we need to put the head. Make sure that the hole where the seams join is large enough for the axe, and then just push the axe through, same way as you did for the arms and legs. And again, take one brown washer first, push the brown washer on all the way down. Next, take the white washer, push that over the top, and again a good squeeze, making sure that it's locked in place. And now we just need to fill the bear, making sure that you really fill all the corners. We find that you've got a little bit of a rumple once it's pushed in. Don't hesitate to push some more in. Push down, push everything in as far as you can, and get some more padding and push it in to fill. It will take much more padding than you think to fill. Now you just need to close the hole with some hand stitches, and your teddy bear is all finished. Isn't he beautiful?